we're looking for on Sunday?
Mahomes magic, man. Like, he's a different guy in the postseason. He's been special. This team has won a lot of close games, and it's because, in large part, because they have a guy that you can trust in any situations. He's not going to make any mistakes. He rarely turns the ball over, and he's been playing differently, a very short passing game style. So if he's going to be able to keep that up against the Eagles, my guess is probably yeah.
Jeff, give me an opening statement.
Eagles front four, their pass rush. They got to try to stop that Mahomes magic. You talking about Jalen Carter, who has just made mincemeat of some of them offensive lines, and you talk about whether it's Nolan Smith, whether it's Jordan Davis, getting their hands up. Make sure you're creating havoc for Patrick Mahomes. Don't let him get comfortable back there so he can pick apart that zone you want to play on the back end.
Swagger, what's the matchup to watch?
Spags, what's the plan? How many people in the box? How many hats are you going to try to get around Saquon before he gets started? Here's the issue. If he gets into the second level and it's just him and the safety's going to lose. And I love Justin Reed. I love how good of a football player he is. This matchup has been lost by every safety in the NFL this year. So how many people will Spags commit to making sure Saquon Barkley does not get started? Secondary level Saquon is devastating for anybody.
Yes, well, I'm glad you brought that up. Swagger, I want you to see this tape that Domonique put together for us here, because we're going to get a little X and O here, okay? There's going to be a little bit for the advanced class, but as far as what specifically to watch for and how Kansas City attacks Saquon.
Well, in order not to get stuck in the trap of overloading the box and exposing your corners, like I would guess that Spags and that D is going to want to spill any of the pullers and try to bounce. So that means that you want to take away the inside shoulder of the rushing lanes for Saquon, because it declares for the safeties where they have to go. It declares for the linebackers where they have to go. A lot of Saquon's big runs is when you try to set an edge, which, like, instinctively you want to set an edge, keep it bottled up. He gets upfield and he's running right at a safety. He's running right at a linebacker, and it also gives their enormous guards a chance to go right down on the linebackers. If you spill it, then you're forcing the guards to run, and you're letting your linebackers try to run, and you're trying to change what the focus is. It's more focused on speed than it is on power.
So to be clear, it's sort of the opposite of what we always think, those of us who follow the sport, we always think you're trying not to do. Don't let him get outside. Now he's suggesting force him to the outside, let the sideline be the 12th defender.
Yeah, which scares me a little bit. But what I will say is this. Dom is perfect, because he's talking about whatever safety or linebacker that's running the alley. There's an alley that you try to create defensively for your free hitter. Every time you play the run in defense, there's a free hitter, a number, whether that guy is deep or whether the defense coordinator brings him up closer into the box. Justin Reed, to me, is that guy. He's been a sure tackler all season, but these are the type of plays that he's going to have to make. It's not just about getting Saquon down from a 10-yard gain. It's about not letting it turn into a 35 or a 40-yard run. You can live with that. Teams have been gutted with explosive runs against Saquon Barkley. It's going to be his job, along with the other safeties, but more importantly, I believe his job to make sure you limit gains.
Graziano's been with both teams all week long at all the media availabilities. What are the Chiefs saying about Saquon?
A lot of comparisons to last year. They played the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and they're worried about limiting Christian McCaffrey and his big play ability. So not that it's the same player, but I think some of the same kind of concepts, and they did do a good job limiting him in that game. So, yeah, he has their attention. He'll be the #1 priority for that defense. That's not hard to figure out. But, yeah, it's about Saquon, and it's about finding ways to defeat that massive offensive line that Domonique was talking about.
To Graza's point, the difference between San Francisco and the Eagles are the offensive line, right? The Eagles average 4.1 yards a carry before Saquon gets touched. That's a big deal, right? I mean, you are running through lines of scrimmage. You're already at the linebacker at 4.1 yards a carry. So at some point, you're going to have to blitz. You're going to have to create something off the edge, to Nick's point, to make him bounce and go laterally instead of vertically to stop that 4.2 speed from taking it yard.
You made an observation, Domonique, in the first hour of our show today, which I think is important, which is all of us picked the Chiefs to win this game. And yet every conversation that we have suggests the Eagles should
win.
Right? Like literally everything we talk about, the Eagles have so many different ways to beat you.
Yeah, this is a classic heart and head situation where my brain is like the Eagles are a better football team.
Yes.
But my heart sees Patrick Mahomes, and I get a little high. And I'm like, I don't care what you put across from him, he's going to find a damn way. And he has done it so far.
Is it that simple? I mean, are the Eagles, if someone said to you, walking down the street here, hey, are the Eagles just a better team? Like man for man, line them up? The answer is yes, right?
Absolutely. And 35-38 was the score of this game. And it was a fumble for a touchdown. Like
2 years ago, yep,
And
in the Super Bowl.
you brought up San Francisco. I just watched Jalen Hurts rush for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
A week ago. This is a different animal for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it's because of that two-headed monster in the backfield. And you got to determine what your numbers are going to be. Are you going to be comfortable with Trent McDuffie manning up against A.J. Brown when you're trying to figure out what's going on in the backfield? There's a lot of issues that they present. And we sat here for years now, and there is no way that Kansas City should win this game if the Eagles play clean, except Kansas City got 15.
That's right.
And we always go back to that. But, G, look at the color of my phone case.
It's green.
Okay.
I'm on the verge, man, because here's the thing. If you can eliminate mistakes against Kansas City in critical moments, you have a chance to beat them. And I haven't seen Philly not be that big play ability to make a play team in critical down and distance situations.
I don't know. I think I was anticipating the Lions. I got the blue.
You were wrong.
Yeah, so I missed on that one.
All right, this was on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. He offered this opinion on Sunday's game.
I think all the pressure is on Kansas City, and I think we kind of saw that when we played New England in 2007 when they were going for the undefeated season. All the pressure is on them. We were the underdog by the points. We were it was just, hey, let's just go play our game, and I think that's probably the message to the Eagles. We've been good all season, especially they got off to a little slow start, but after that, I mean they've played great football all year long, and let's just go play our game.
It's an interesting way of looking at it. But, Dan, you look skeptical. I know you've been around the Chiefs all week.
Because it's easier for the Chiefs to say, oh, let's just go play our game. Because they've had so much experience playing and winning this game, right? So, the Eagles can say that, and it's possible they can execute it. The Chiefs are 100% certain they can execute that. Yeah. Treat this like any other week.
But how about the weight of the history? It's not just any other week. It's not even just any other Super Bowl. That's what Eli is saying, that those Patriots were playing for perfection in their own way. The Chiefs are doing the same thing in this game, right? They're trying to do something that has never been done in the Super Bowl era. Does that add an extra layer? Is he right? Is the pressure in this game on Kansas City?
I'm not going to fight with Eli. I don't think so. And it would be different if Philly hadn't been here 2 years ago in a situation where they could have got a Super Bowl done. And they've sat with that for 2 years thinking, I guarantee you that team walked away saying we should have won the Super Bowl. Yeah. We should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So to me, it's about can Philly be who they believe that they are in this particular game? Because to Gron's point, the Chiefs know they can be. And then here's the other thing. Well, the one constant for the Kansas City Chiefs is it's really never too big for them. I understand their history is at stake and it's a three-peat and it's never been done before in the Super Bowl era. But ultimately, this team has been an in-the-moment team for the last 5 years we've been watching.
And implicit in the pressure question is it's going to impact their play. So I find it hard to believe.
For sure.
If I show up anywhere and Patrick Mahomes is next to me, I got a cloak of protection. I don't feel pressure. I don't feel that same pressure. And I don't know that. And they know that they're going to be back. They know that they belong here.
But we would have said the same exact things about Tom Brady and Randy Moss and all those guys back then. Yeah, and I don't know that the pressure on the Patriots wound up influencing that game or not. I guess we'll never know that one way or the other. But I know they only scored 14 points, and they had the best offense in the history of the sport till that point. So maybe there is something to this.
Yeah, no, I think when you think about Kansas City's been doubted for the last 2 years. We doubted them last December when they had to go on the road. Oh, by the way, they won in the road, and they win it again. This year, they don't score enough points. I'm old enough to remember, they don't win the right way. They don't do this. They've heard the doubters all the time. They understand what's at stake. They understand how to perform in these moments. And again, they find their kind of identification, find ways to win. That's what Kansas City does better than anybody else.
A thing people don't appreciate about what it means to go to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs get 6 more weeks of practice every single year than anybody else. Yeah. They are practicing football more than it. Think about that, right? The teams that aren't in the Super Bowl haven't practiced in over a month. Yeah. Chiefs are so they're an extra season or two advanced over where they would normally be. And look, they go over this stuff. They have a meeting. The quarterbacks and the offensive coaching staff and Andy Reid have a meeting every Saturday night where they go over the situational stuff, 4th down, 2 minute, 4 minute. That's their last cram session before it. And then when it's over, if they won the previous week, they show themselves a 2-minute highlight video of last week's game, and they all have celebrating, and then they go on their merry way, go to bed or whatever they do. They're going to do that on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like that's what their Saturday's going to be.
I mean, I think the important part about that practice point and that experience point is about adjustments.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we say these things, experience, we don't understand what he means. It feels like amorphous, but I think it means like they're used to being attacked in a bunch of different ways.
That's
and
right.
They're used to adjusting in games. And so rather than coming to the sideline and breaking out a whiteboard and saying, we got to do this,
they
this,
just
and this.
have it.
They say, you know what? We do what we did last year in the championship game because that's what they try.
Hey, even better. How about the last time we played this team in the Super Bowl?
Right.
And Patrick Mahomes goes 13-14 in the second half for 4 touchdowns. They kick a field goal to win it.
Like, they scored on every drive in the second half.
Exactly. So they've played this. They've done this. They did this 2 years ago. So they understand every which way this thing can play out. Start fast, start slow, whatever it looks like. They find ways to win.
We also just a year removed from all of us believing that the Baltimore Ravens were a better football team.
Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy. Don't say,
Jeff,
you and the mouse in your pocket. Don't say it.
Well, you stay solo because I know a lot of people that I talk to thought that the Baltimore Ravens were going to be the Super Bowl representatives. The thing that they've been able to do, Kansas City, is play every single game on their terms.
That's right.
They love the fact that if you leave it close, there's a belief that permeates.
They're going to finish.
The front off, the people that didn't travel with the team are back at the facility saying, oh, we're going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is familiarity. That's why I think when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles being here 2 years ago, not the same staff, a lot of things are different. But ultimately, when you look at the nucleus with Jalen Hurts, you think about the guys that's been here in this game. They understand that if you don't beat Kansas City and you leave anything up for chance,
that's right.
you're probably going to walk home with an L.
Yep.
So I like the fact that Philly comes in understanding that. But the other part is this, too. Like, we've seen Kansas City vulnerable.